Hello and welcome to episode 109 of the Pixel Street Podcast. This is the podcast where each and every week us fucking nerds get together and talk about video games. As always, I'm your host, Joel Campos, and this week I am joined by the man who is not allowed to host the podcast anymore because we had two episode 107s, Connor Cobb.
I 110%. Listen, he hasn't announced your name. You can't talk yet. It's the rules. Listen, it's John's fault, okay? He does a poor editing job. He's generally in charge of this stuff when you're not here, and I fully blame him this time. So, it's John. It's always John. He doesn't even have hair. How can you trust a guy with no hair?
I mean, he's got hair on his chin.
Just my chin.
Yeah, nowhere else.
Shade it all off.
Sure.
Nowhere else. He's like a baby.
The rest of him is a naked mole rat. A human naked mole rat.
And we are also joined by the man who's going to give us an update on his nacho cheese machine for his nightstand, John Hansen.
I still really want it, man.
It's been a few months since I checked in on it.
Yeah.
If we get another stimulus, I will seriously consider it.
Seriously consider.
I was saying it before as a joke and because that would be amazing and everything, but I really want one.
I mean, I just want to watch the TikTok account that you have to make for buying it. I feel like if any TikTok is going to go viral, it's going to be the dude with a nacho cheese machine next to his bed.
Yeah. Oh, man. I would watch that on repeat. Some dude just roll directly out of bed in the morning and pop his head under the cheese machine.
Yeah, every day there's a TikTok of, what's John putting nacho cheese on today?
I have it just hot wired to an alarm clock. So instead of an alarm, it's just cheese getting poured on my face.
It's how John unwinds for the night. Just a hot glass of cheese in bed.
Yeah, just let it mold over me.
Oh, no.
Just videos of you putting that cheese on Pop-Tarts. Delicious.
Absolutely.
Replace the frosting from toaster strudels with that cheese.
There is toaster strudels that are like breakfast scrambled
with
where
meat
it's
and egg, right?
And cheese. Yeah.
That sounds disgusting.
I've tried it. It's not bad, but it's not really that good.
Speaking of food, I was telling Connor about how I won a giveaway on Twitter, and they sent me Call of Duty pants. They also sent me this Game Fuel.
Okay.
Have you guys ever had Game Fuel before?
I think I bought it once when Monster wasn't in stock.
It is Mountain Dew Amp Charged Raspberry Lemonade Game Fuel Zero. And it has if you can see the top, it's like a plastic thing. So I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this live on the air, if I can figure out how this works.
Live reaction here. Let's see this.
I honestly don't know if I'm gonna be able to open this. Hold on.
It reminds me of the Monster import cans. Have you ever had those ones with the closable top?
It says
It's
pull.
like the weird.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay, pull, and then slide. Wow, this is fancy, guys. I can reclose this, reseal it for later. All right, first sip.
Exciting.
This is actually pretty good.
Yeah? Are you just saying that because you now have a sponsorship, or
No, I think this is actually pretty good. I could definitely taste the lemonade aspect of it, and I don't really like raspberry things that much.
Does it have a significant Mountain Dew flavor to it, or is it just
No, I wouldn't even think this is Mountain Dew.
Really?
I would definitely drink. I will definitely drink all three that they sent me.
All three?
Not.
Oh man!
Not while wearing these fucking
Chug
Call of
'em
Duty
all.
pants.
Chug them all right now.
Chug them all.
Mm-hmm.
No. But nonetheless, we are not here to talk about food and gaming snacks. We are actually here to talk about video games. This week, we're going to be talking about Gamescom opening night live. Some interesting stuff that Flight Simulator is having people do in the game, and an update on Halo Infinite and kind of what's going on over there at 343. But before we get to that, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. First, you can follow us on Twitter by searching for @PixelStreetPod there. or on our Facebook by searching for Pixel Street Podcast. We do giveaways every time we hit a certain milestone. I don't know when the next one will be. Who knows? Could just be a random
200.
Tuesday.
Let's say 200.
200. All right. 200 followers on Twitter. We'll do another giveaway. Or episode 200. Whichever comes first. Could be years from now. But, yeah, follow us there for all our giveaways and stuff. Our show goes live every Friday morning. Sometimes it's a little later, depending on when we record. Like, right now we're recording on Thursday, so who knows? I'm sure it'll be up, though. But, yeah, and you can also join our Discord group by searching for our Twitter account. You can see it. It is the pinned tweet. It has all of our social information on there, social security information on there, and our Discord link. So, yeah, if you're looking to open a credit card in John's name or join his Discord, it's all right there in one convenient place for you.
You've got both options.
Whatever one you choose, you wouldn't be the first.
Yeah, hop in there and ask me about Game Fuel. Hop in there and ask me about Game Fuel. I'll tell you all about it.
And also send us pics of your doggos.
Yeah, definitely dog pics. I've been lacking. I haven't put any in a while, and I took a shit ton yesterday. Yeah, I guess then let's just get into what we're playing.
Okay.
John?
Yeah, so I finished up The Bard's Tale. I think it's either The Bard's Tale or A Bard's Tale. It's a remake, well, not remake, it's a remaster of an old PS2 and original Xbox game. I think I've talked about it on the show before because I originally started playing it and when it first hit Game Pass in like June, May-ish, that area. And I remember saying how I really liked it. It has this really comedic flow to it. It's a top-down RPG game, and it's... The beginning of the game I loved because it was very lighthearted, playing as this bard who just doesn't really care about anyone else. All he cares about is money, sex, and getting drunk.
Hell
yes.
Person.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like my kind of video game.
Absolutely. The problems with it start when you get into the combat of the game because it's so fucking basic. So you can have all these weapons and everything. They'll automatically change them out for you whenever you get a stronger one and everything. But all the combat ever comes down to is pressing A over and over again. And you just swipe at people. And it doesn't feel good at all. It's really slow. And there's just so much of it. I ended up finishing it last night just while I was listening to the Cardinals game. And that was probably the best thing for me to do because if I had to, like, actually pay full attention to the game, I would lose my mind because it actually got rather boring after a while.
Quick question. I want to make sure I have the right game up because I totally think I had the wrong game up on YouTube a second ago. Is this... It kind of looks like RuneScape in a way.
It might. Can you share your screen?
Is it like top-down 3D?
Yeah, it's top-down
Okay.
3D.
Okay,
There's another game that's like named dangerously close to it.
Yeah,
I always
it was,
get the two mixed up.
Yeah, and like I had video up of the other one. I was like, this does not look like the game John's describing at all. It was like literally like just like you would just read and then choose an answer. Like it was not.
That's not it.
Okay, all right. I think I got the right one up now.
Yeah, the actual title is like The Bard's Tale Remastered and Re-Snarkled, something like that. So it was made by In Exile Games, who's now owned by Microsoft.
Yep.
And yeah, it starting out, I had fun with it. As time went on, I really was getting tired of it. One thing that I did like is the ending. It kind of sets up like a multiple ending kind of thing, you know, where it's just like, hey, choose this or this. You'll get a good or a bad ending. But they actually give you a third option. So, I guess, spoiler alert, if anyone is fucking worried about the Bard's Tale first game spoilers. You're trying to save this princess that's been captured by this wizard guy. You get to his tower. You've taken out everyone else, and you're talking to both of them right there. he says she's evil. She says he's trying to fool you and everything. And it literally comes down to choose the side with him, choose the side with her, or just tell him to fuck off and go get drunk. So I chose that, and I completely skipped a final boss fight and beat the game. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess that gets me out of any more lame combat. But
I remember trying the original like way back in the day, and I'd totally forgotten about it because it is pretty forgettable from what I remember. Like the tutorial, I think, was exactly like you described. It was pretty funny. Like I had some clever writing in it. It seemed very whimsical to start out, and then you are launched on this journey with not a lot of explanation as to what you're doing or why, and it's just ghastly amounts of boring gameplay, which was incredibly disappointing after a strong start. So it's interesting. When I heard about the remaster, I genuinely couldn't really believe it at first because
I guess
the original wasn't that great in the first place.
I guess there is a pretty passionate fan base around it because
Weird.
it has multiple sequels and everything, and I wonder if that has more to do with those games being better. I've never played them, so I don't know. And maybe they just wanted to bring this one back to have the whole collection, because I know they have like a trilogy of like 2, 3, and 4 on Game Pass.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I'm watching gameplay right now, and this does not look like fun, like at all.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came around the time that it was, there was so many different games trying to cash in on the Diablo fanfare of the time, that style of game, and it just didn't do it well.
No.
Not well enough to be remembered anyway. So yeah, it must be that the sequels are better, because this original was relatively boring.
I would file it under pretty mediocre.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a game I don't think I will ever play, personally. But I'm excited to see what is that developer working on now. Now that they're owned by Microsoft.
Are they the ones that made Wasteland?
Oh yeah, that's right.
That comes out today as of release this Friday.
This Friday, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
8/28 for all of you listening. But yeah, interesting. I never played Wasteland. I don't think that's a game that's for me either, based on gameplay I've seen of previous games. But
yeah, I've never been really interested in Wasteland, but Wasteland 3 is getting tons of good reviews. So maybe, it'll be on Game Pass, so maybe check it out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. I guess I'll go next because it looks like Connor only has one thing. I've been playing Beat Saber. They just came out with Linkin Park DLC music pack, and I've been playing a lot of it. It's harder than most of the other stuff I've played in the game. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
Actually, scream while you play it.
Yeah, you have to scream. I don't know if it's just because of like the faster paced songs that they chose by Linkin Park, but it's definitely, I don't know. I feel like every DLC that comes out, I struggle with it a lot, and then some out of nowhere something will click with me, like, okay, they're doing this a lot in this throughout these songs, so once I master that, then I should be able to do them. But as of right now, I think I've only beaten like half of the songs on Expert, and the rest I just keep failing at. So I don't know. I'm definitely gonna play more of it, and then, I don't know. I love Linkin Park, so I think this was a great choice to add into the game. I know like the one no-brainer DLC that people want now and have been wanting since the game came out is like Daft Punk, but honestly, I feel like that's such like a I don't know. Like if they get Daft Punk to be in this game, I would be very surprised because Daft Punk is such a huge band. I don't think they're hurting for sales or anything to get in this game.
I mean, Linkin Park's kind of the same way too when you think about it. Like, they're pretty massive. They're not hurting for money, to say, if you look at some of the record sales and stuff. I did jump back into Beat Saber a little bit a few weeks ago and messed around with it. And I'm curious, what platform are you playing on? PSVR?
PSVR.
Man, setting back up my PSVR reminded me why I don't play my PSVR.
Oh, yeah.
it's just God. It's so much of a pain in the ass, and like
Do you have the
the
first or second
conditions
one?
have to be right. I've got the second one, so I've got the HDR pass
You
through.
see, I do not have the second one, and like I just got this brand new OLED TV, and so it like right now I pretty much have to choose if I want to have PSVR like essentially hooked up without the headset plugged in, or if I want to be able to play games in HDR. So as of right now, since I've been playing Beat Saber, I have it, no HDR because I don't play my PlayStation as much as my Xbox as it is. But it's still just annoying to think that like, man, if I wanted to go play Ghost of Tsushima right now, and have the best, gaming experience with it, I would have to unplug that. Yeah, it would just be a hassle. Like I can't just turn on my PlayStation and play it.
Right. Yeah, I the other frustrating thing with it is like the conditions in your room have to be like perfect for the tracking to work appropriately, especially in games like Beat Saber. Like if I guess my problem is my living room has a big sliding glass door, and we have like the like turnable, I don't even know what to call them. They're not even really curtains. It's like just the vinyl sheets that you pull across.
Yeah.
And it doesn't block out a lot of light. So either I have to play it when it's like really late, or just don't play it at all because the tracking is just not great, and it's a bummer. So I would love to try out Beat Saber on a different platform, especially something like the Oculus Quest, where it's just no wires, it's all like internal tracking, there's no external camera or anything. It's got to be such a better experience than the PlayStation VR version, because God damn, is that thing frustrating.
I've only played it on Vive Pro at my job, and it was really cool. VR just makes me sick in general, so I only could play about 10 minutes before I started getting a little motion sick, but it was a good experience, and I enjoyed my time with it. Really cool that I love Linkin Park, so really cool that they brought some of their songs into that, and I mean, it's always a good time to hear Chester Bennington's voice again.
Yeah, at my old apartment, I had some of those problems, Connor, where it was like, because I used to play during lunch kind of as a workout, but now I play Ring Fit during lunch. But anyway, I used to have that problem where like if I extended like it was specifically my left hand, if I extended it too far to the left, the thing would just drift off. And then I'd have to like pull it back in frame and like shake it a bunch so that the camera would like recognize
to recognize.
Yeah, that I had it over here now. So it was just very frustrating.
Yeah, they really
at my new apartment, I don't have any problems.
On the new, with it being compatible on the new system, they really got to come up with a better solution than that camera tracking for the controllers. Like I understand if it stays there for the headset, but there's got to be a better answer than those PlayStation Move controllers, man. I hate those things so much.
They definitely need new controllers. Yeah. But I am just very frustrated that they didn't have HDR pass-through from the beginning with the first gen of PSVR headset, I guess. But I guess that PS4 Pro wasn't even out when the first PSVR headset came out, was it?
2014 was the PSVR. No, I think it was later than that.
I think 2015. PSVR. It was
2016. Jeez, yeah, I'm way off the mark on that one. So
let me see the Pro release date.
That'd be 2017.
No. Oh, it was revealed on September 7th, 2016. So the PS4 Pro was revealed a month before the PSVR even came out. So that's even more frustrating to me that like they couldn't have like future-proofed this, essential like hub for the PSVR at the time.
Yeah.
Especially I think I paid like fucking $500 for the thing.
Got all this hamburger real estate, but still can't do it.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The PS4 Pro looks like a hamburger.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I'll keep playing Beat Saber. I think I want to get Vader Immortal for PSVR.
Yeah.
Play that.
Let me know how that is.
We'll do. All right.
I played
Connor,
it.
what have you been playing?
Cool.
So I haven't been playing much of anything because my life is a nightmare right now
I'm about to
with my
YouTube
television.
TiVo troubleshooting, so
Yeah, it's gosh, it's something else. Yeah, so I bought a really nice TCL 8 series probably about 3 months ago. It was in May, and it's been fantastic. It's HDR, 4K, 65 inches. TV's great. However, the other night, my wife she texts me and she says, "Hey, something's up with the TV. Can you come out here?" And I was like, "Oh God, I don't like that." So I come
There's
out
a
in the living
Wii mode
room.
in it.
Yeah, right. Well, she was playing Switch at the time, so I was kind of worried she threw something at it. But I walk out there, and the TV's just like wildly dim to the point where you can't even see anything. And if you look really closely, you can see that there are like very blurry blobs of shapes on the TV. But other than that, it doesn't display any content. So I went through all the troubleshooting that I could think of to try and get it back in place and figure out what's going on with it. Nothing worked. So I jumped on with chat support with TCL to see if I could get through to anybody, and I was in queue for an hour, and it was like midnight at that point. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm just going to bed and not worrying about it." So ended that, and then yesterday I jumped back in queue again and just trying to get through to somebody because nothing would work on this. Like I was trying reset codes. There's a reset button on the back of the TV. Tried power cycling it, and I jumped into chat and I got an agent who uh, walked me through all the same troubleshooting steps that I already done
Of course.
and described to him
Yep.
because that's always what happens.
Mhm.
And about halfway through the chat, he says, "Okay, can you send me a picture of the TV and the serial number?" I was like, "Well, I'm on a fucking desktop, so what do you want me to do?" Like, so I had to like go take a picture with my phone, email it to myself on my desktop so that I could upload and attach a photo for him, and then I was like, "Okay, what do you need now?" And he's like, "Nope, hang on, I'm waiting for the pictures to load." And it was 20 minutes.
oh my god.
Then he texts back to me. Yeah, then he messages back and he says, "The pictures won't load." I'm like, "What the fuck do you want me to do, man? Like, you're the tech guy, you know?" So I was like, "Give me a second. I'll send him again in a smaller file size." So I went ahead and compressed them, sent them back to him, and he's like, "Thank you. They seem to be loading much faster now." And I'm like, That's great. Can we solve my problem?" And so we're going through this whole thing, and I've spent, God, almost an hour and a half on chat with this guy, and we get to the point where he says, "Can we continue this via email?"
Yeah.
I said, "No, absolutely not. Like I've been on here for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
like,
so that you can wait like a day in between each response.
right, exactly." I was like, "That's that's not an answer. Like we need to come up with a better solution than that." So he's like, "Okay, I understand." I'm like, "Yeah, you better." And we're talking, and then he's like, "Do you have your receipt for it?" And I was like, "Yes." So I pull up my receipt. I ordered it from Best Buy online, and I emailed it to him. And so he gets that. And he says, "Hang on, I have to verify." Well, verifying it apparently is another 20-minute process. So at this point, I'm on hold for 2 hours, essentially, or I'm on chat for 2 hours with this guy. And at the end of it, he says, "Okay, I have to escalate this to another team. I'm going to send you a case number." And I said, "Okay, I'm ready for the case number." And he said, "No, I'll send it after the chat's done." And I said, "What? What do you mean?" And he's
through
like,
email.
"I'll send it after the chat's done." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So he ends the chat without even telling me. I never receive a case number or anything, but what he told me was that somebody would reach out to me in the next 3 to 4 days.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So now here I am waiting for somebody to reach back to me. I don't even have a case number. This guy never sent me anything.
Of course.
And I'm just in this weird loop now. I was able to save all the chat logs, thankfully. So I've got those in case I need them. But yeah, I'm in this weird limbo hell on this TV. And of course, I'm like 2 weeks outside of Best Buy's return policy to do something with it. So yeah, it's which if it was like a $300 TV, then I would just move on with my life and not even care. But this is a $2,000 TV that I caught on sale for half off, which now I know why it was half off.
Is this a
So-
problem that other people have had with this TV?
So looking into it, it seems to be an issue with the Roku TVs. Not even just this specific TV. It's any of the TCL Roku TVs. I was able to find a bunch of people complaining, like not to the degree of like don't buy this product, but enough to like it's a known issue essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they broke it with an update or something recently because there was a bunch of recent posts on it. It was just real bad. So now I have this lemon of a 65-inch TV sitting in my living room that I can't do anything with.
But it looks
that my
really
PS4
good.
is hooked up to. Yeah, it does. It looks like a really good centerpiece. Too bad that centerpiece is not worth shit right now. So that's been my life.
You should have bought an OLED, man.
Tell me about it. Should have just sprung, paid the extra money.
Yeah, that sucks though. Hopefully you get that situated. I mean, like
Yeah,
the,
well,
the TV's not old, so I can't imagine they wouldn't either replace it or like send a tech out or something to try and fix it.
Right. Well, that's what I told my wife. Is I was like, this thing is super new. It's got to be under a manufacturer warranty or something.
Yeah.
And they got to do something with
Manufacturer
it. So
warranties are like at their minimum a year.
Yeah.
usually, yeah. So I'm hoping, and there's like no impact damage or anything to it. So my dogs didn't run into it. Like it's just one day it
Boom.
decided to stop working. Yeah. So that's a real shitty feeling because I still haven't started my copy of Ghost of Tsushima, and I was just about to start it. And I still haven't started Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I was itching to play that one too. And now I can't play my PS4. So
That sucks. Speaking of Final Fantasy VII Remake, I never beat Final Fantasy VII as a kid, and apparently there's I think I told you about this Netflix documentary called High
Yeah.
Score. Apparently that show, one of the episodes spoils the shit out of that game. So fair warning to anybody who hasn't played the original Final Fantasy. I haven't
did it get
watched
spoiled
it.
for you?
No, I haven't
Okay.
watched it. I saw it on Twitter. Somebody complaining about it.
I saw
no.
that documentary pop up
You
on
just
my
don't
Netflix
know what
the other
happens
day.
in Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, I still have no
Oh.
idea. I mean,
Okay.
I played
it's an
remake,
old-ass
which is
game,
part
but-
1, but no, yeah.
Well,
Like,
I was just asking because that's like a very common thing that people talk about.
I still have no idea what happens.
Me either.
Cool.
Me either.
I got lucky enough with something like that with the first BioShock. I didn't play it for like 2 or 3 years after it came out, and somehow I completely avoided spoilers for it. And man, am I glad that I did, because that's one of my favorite games of all time.
I still haven't played it and still don't know what happens in that game.
Oh my god. Play
I
it.
tried playing it, but it was too scary for me.
Well,
I'm a big baby.
we'll do it now.
Just skip right to Infinite. Play Infinite. That's the only one that matters.
No, the first one definitely matters. I agree that gameplay in Infinite is better, but for story purposes, I definitely recommend playing through the first one.
I will
And
think about it.
2 is also really good.
And then probably not do it. But
That's so good. I love that series.
I'll think of you next time I think of wasting time on something I won't enjoy.
At the very least, you should like look up a
Story recap.
kind of a story thing for the first one, because it's just really good. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, now that Connor has depressed the entire podcast because we've all been there before with tech, John, what else have you been
Yeah.
playing?
I bought the new Jurassic World pack on Minecraft for me and my daughter to play, and it's a lot of fun. It's just like one of those mashup worlds where they change up all of the textures and everything to like add in new things. So they built the entirety of Jurassic Park, or I guess Jurassic World, in Minecraft, and you can go around the entire theme park and everything, go into the labs. You can gather dinosaur samples and the amber and everything and make your own dinosaurs. It's really cool. There's a ton of dinosaurs to make, and you can set up these exhibits where you put your dinosaurs in and everything. If you're still playing Minecraft and you're looking for like a new mashup pack to play, definitely give it a try. It is awesome.
I didn't realize those Minecraft skin packs were more than skin deep, I suppose.
Yeah, so when they have this whole marketplace. They've had it for a couple of years now, where it's everything changes with it. I have a Nightmare Before Christmas pack because, of course, the Nintendo versions have a Mario World where just they built everything. They have like the overworld for Super Mario World just there, and you can like fly around it and everything. And then there's Peach's Castle, and then they
Isn't
have
there a
giant
Halo one?
statues. Yeah, there's an old Halo one. There's Fallout, I know. And now there's just tons of community ones where just people make whatever ones they want. Like my daughter really likes this city life one where it's just a basic city, but like the villagers are changed into like regular civilians that talk to you as you pass them and you can interact with them. It's just focusing on the Jurassic World one because that's the latest one. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm watching video and there's like dinosaurs and stuff, which is
Mm-hmm.
way more in depth than I anticipated it being.
Yeah,
Is there like, are there dinosaurs that'll like attack you when they see you?
Yeah. So, in Jurassic World, that like giant T-Rex thing that they had.
Yeah.
Indominus Rex.
It's actually in an enclosure, and you can open up the door and let it free, and it will just wreak havoc on everyone. So you can like actually go around and just destroy everything and like get the park shut down, and then you have to like fix everything up to bring it back. There's like different sections of the park where the power will just go down and the dinosaurs escape. Like it's just really deep and everything. Like it like Minecraft is already a simple but very deep game, and this like pack just pushes that to a new level.
Yeah, I had no clue that they took it to that level, to be honest. Like I always just assumed that it was, I don't know if it's like a marketing problem, but I just assumed they were texture packs essentially.
That's
that
what
was
they
it.
started out as. The like Halo stuff was pretty much just a texture pack, and then they would like build a world up in it. Since they brought in the marketplace, they actually like added in like interactions and stuff that used to be exclusive to like the Java edition. Now everyone can do it.
Yeah, I think that's why I assumed that it was just texture packs, is because I knew when the Halo one came out, I was interested in it, and I looked into it more, and it was just essentially, you can see the Halo ring in the distance. You know what I mean? Like at the horizon, among some other.
That stuff is
texture
still
things.
really cool, but they've just taken it to a new level.
Yeah, I'm looking at a video right now, and this looks pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody spent a lot of time on this.
Oh, it's ridiculous. And like they also add in the music. It's not the normal Minecraft music that plays in the background. Like the Nightmare Before Christmas will just play the songs from the movie without the lyrics, just over and over again. And of course the Jurassic Park theme is in this one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to talk about in Minecraft?
No, that's about what I've been focusing on.
Cool. The only other game I've been playing is the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 warehouse demo. It is fucking good. Like saying that is kind of an understatement. Like it feels exactly how I remember Tony Hawk feeling back in the day. And I am way worse at it than I thought I was. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm very excited for the game to come out. The demo itself is like pretty short because you only get to play, like a 2-minute session at a time. And then you just restart it essentially on the same warehouse level. But it has me, having played the demo makes me really, really excited for when the game launches. Because I don't know, I feel like a lot of people, myself included, have a lot of nostalgia for these games.
Oh, I do.
Well, and the fact that it's like 4K HDR, like it just is gonna have everybody see it in a new light, essentially. Like it's insane that they redid the entire thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I pre-ordered it and everything, so I could play the warehouse demo if I wanted to, but I want to hold off until it actually releases. I just want to play through all the levels on my own. And I mean, it comes out the same week as Avengers, so I'm not gonna have a ton of time, but I think it comes out a few days before. So I think I'll have enough time to like really hit that nostalgia factor and just really fall in love with it. I mean, the first Tony Hawk game was just like that, and the Spyro games were the two series that defined the PlayStation 1 for me personally. So I'm very excited to have it back.
It's kind of wild too that you know, they did this and it came out around the same time that EA started talking about doing another Skate. You know, it's like all of the stars.
Not only
coalesced.
that, but like we have all these other companies now coming out with skate games.
Skater XL, Skatebird, Sessions, yeah, a ton of them hitting the market, which is good. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had those. So now if they could do the same with boxing games, now we're talking.
Yo, Fight Night round 3.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Those games are great. But yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, I think it's going to be a lot of fun when it comes out. I think it comes out, what, not
the 4th?
Like the 8th? The 4th?
Maybe the 8th? I don't know.
Let me look.
I know that in Avengers, one of them comes out on like the 4th, the other one comes out on like the 8th, or something close to
September 4th, so next Friday. So a week from the air of this podcast, which is
same day as Avengers.
Awesome.
Is it
I
the
don't
same
think
day?
I'm getting Avengers.
The more I see on that, man, the more I
played the demo and it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I'd be playing it is for the story. And I feel like a lot of that game is going to be their Destiny vibe of multiplayer type thing.
Definitely, yeah. It's going to be something that I'm going to wait for a sale on if I do pick it up and get it at a cheaper price on that one.
Yeah,
I bought the deluxe edition, so I'm going to play it early and everything. I want to support it because I recognize at the beginning it's probably not going to be the greatest. This is definitely a games as a service thing where it's going to grow, and next year, hopefully, while we talk about this, it's going to be so much better. I don't think this is going to be an Anthem situation. I think they're handling this much better than Anthem.
He said the word.
He
said the word. He said Anthem.
You jinxed the game now.
No.
Congratulations.
No, I think it's going to be good. I think I'm going to enjoy it. And, I mean, I'm becoming such a Marvel fanboy lately that I know I'm going to enjoy it. So.
All right. With that, let's get into the news. There's not too much to talk about, but there's enough to have a podcast about it.
Yeah, I guess.
Gamescom opening night live just happened a few hours ago. Thursday, August 27th is the day we're recording, so that happened earlier. What do you guys want to talk about? I know Connor or John just wants to talk about main things.
Yeah, let's not go into everything, but first let's just kind of talk about like what were your overall thoughts of the show, because Jeff Keighley has been talking this up all summer long.
I thought it was pretty weak, to be honest, overall.
I agree.
Man, you're much softer on that than I would be. I thought it sucked, honestly. Like, for this to be your opening night, like, certainly there were a couple hits in there that I think are relatively exciting, but
yeah.
Man, for the most part, it was like super indie titles. It was like,
well, not only that,
very.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it wasn't exciting. I mean, it wasn't something that made me think, oh man, this is a celebration of video games. This is where we're going. Like, it wasn't good at all. It was gross.
The way Jeff Keighley had been building this up ever since he started Summer Games Fest was, this is the big bang. This is everything culminating. This is the big thing. This is our launch into the next gen and everything. And there was some good stuff in there, but more often than not, I was getting bored watching this, and I just would like look at my phone and everything. Like there was a lot of stuff that felt samey in here. The first like 15 minutes of the 15 minutes of the first half hour was like dedicated to the new World of Warcraft expansion, which is fine. That's cool and everything, but it was just like an uninteresting story trailer, which is weird because Blizzard are pros at their cinematic trailer, but this one was like a still image story thing that they were doing that was just not.
Well, so that one,
interesting.
I think you might be a little confused on what that is. It's actually like from my understanding, a 4-part series that they're doing.
Okay.
That's an actual like animated separate release. It's not necessarily tied into just a promotional item for
Gotcha.
Shadowlands. It's called Bastion, and it's effectively, you know, them trying to capture the same essence that Overwatch does with their animated shorts. You know, that focus on the different characters and whatnot. And while it was interesting, I didn't need to see that much of it.
Regardless,
honestly.
this wasn't the place
You know?
to put that.
Yeah,
You don't.
really
You
was.
never saw Overwatch like put in the full cinematic
Right.
short.
Yeah,
In
it was
something
super
like this.
super strange to pop out there. Really felt like they were filling time more than anything
And
else.
they did
you know?
not need to. This was a long
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, it was
2 hours, man.
2
Gosh.
hours. But yeah, I agree. Like it was pretty boring most of the time. I don't think there was anything in here that made me, you know, think like, man, I cannot wait to see more of that.
Even
Like-
the stuff that I did like seeing was like stuff we've already seen.
Like Ratchet, I feel like
Ratchet
we saw
and Clank,
all that.
90% of that was everything that they showed us during the June PS5 event. All that we saw that was like new here was we got to look at the main villain.
Yeah, I mean, and they also stated that it's going to be a launch window game,
Yeah,
which
that
means for sure won't be out
cool.
at launch. But who knows?
yeah, it'll probably be like January or February, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
And then,
March, for sure.
assuming PS5's out by then.
Yeah, yeah. I said this to mine and Connor's group chat, but I think it's so interesting that we've seen so much of Ratchet and Clank, but we still haven't seen any gameplay for Miles Morales, and that is supposed to be a launch game.
Is that a launch title?
They said holiday, so
Okay.
I would assume launch. If not, it's like a week or two after, if it comes out in November, which.
Yeah, I have to imagine though that they're saving that for their own event because I feel like that is their big title, right?
Yeah,
Coming this
but
fall.
it's just interesting that the game that's coming later has gotten gameplay and everything shown, but not that one.
Yeah, who knows? They showed Black Ops Cold War trailer, right?
Yeah, it wasn't really interesting. It was just. It wasn't a trailer. I think it was actually from the campaign.
Yeah, it seemed to be a direct, story campaign trailer, and this seems super weird, and I'm still not 100% clear on how they're approaching this, but it's a direct sequel to Black Ops 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it features all the same characters from Black Ops 1. So you've got like Mason, Woods, essentially the main guys, which Hudson, yes, the CIA guy, and it's just I don't know if they're like trying to continue that storyline and stick with that from now on, or just shoehorning games in wherever they feel like it now. Because obviously we've had all these other Black Ops that have kind of carried the narrative forward, and for them to take it back here, it just feels weird, and it doesn't seem to be right. So
the way they've handled,
and they also haven't talked about multiplayer either, which apparently is coming later, but that's weird too.
Yeah, or zombies. Like they've only said that it's coming, but the campaign itself is just you create your own character, so you're not even playing as Mason this time, and I don't know how that's gonna fit in. But yeah, it takes place 11 years after the first one. And the Black Ops 2 is a weird case because it jumps between timelines. The first one, at first you're playing as, is it Alex Mason?
Yeah.
Okay. You're playing as him, and he's like still dealing with the brainwashing and everything. But then it like jumps forward to his son, like 20 years later or something, 30 years later. So it does a weird thing there. And then the third one just jumps way in the future. That one's like 2060. So that whole like storyline is so jumbled up anyway. When I first heard that this was coming out, I was like, oh, okay, they're just gonna reboot it like they did Modern Warfare. Like that would make sense to me. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's definitely a weird way that they're handling the story here.
Yeah, that being said, they didn't show a whole lot of stuff on it, so
No, they didn't.
really not even worth talking about yet until we actually see more on the video game. So that was one of the things they'd shown. I guess just going around on the stuff worth talking about here, you know, like we said, it's a lot of micro announcements, smaller indie stuff. There was a Doom DLC, Doom Eternal DLC. Either of you guys still playing that?
I never played it.
I haven't played it since I beat it back in March.
So will you go back and play it for this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love the Doom games. I don't like the multiplayer in Doom Eternal. I think it's not great at all, and I don't want any part to do with that because they completely changed it up from the first one, which I thought was really great. But the Doom Eternal story is as much as I love the first one, Doom Eternal just gives you more of that. It's what I always call like the perfect example of a sequel where it gives you the same experience, but it amplifies it, gives you more of that. So yeah, I love Doom Eternal.
When Doom Eternal launched, I actually had just started playing Doom 2016. So I played through that, and then I kind of felt like that scratched my itch for any Doom game. So I just never got around to playing Eternal.
Good game. They're both good games. They're great stories. So it's really exciting that this game actually gets story DLC.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that I wonder if maybe it was pegged for a little bit of an earlier release, you know, closer to the March, but obviously with things happening, you know,
I would imagine this was supposed to be an early summer release at first.
Yeah.
I think there's
it does say part 1 though, which is interesting. It's called The Ancient Gods Part 1. Yeah, so it does look like there's going to be a part 2 a little bit later down the road, which is kind of cool. Just scrolling down this list here, Dragon Age 4, finally, BioWare wants to talk about that. John and I, you kind of spoke on it, and it looks to be a long ways out. This looks like it's going to be a Skyrim level, Elder Scrolls level of effort put into it, and the same amount of years that we're going to be waiting to get another one. So
yeah, which
is unfortunate. I really loved Inquisition. Those games were like super close to my heart, but apparently the news was that not too long ago they had actually scrapped all the work that they had done, and they rebooted it entirely around the time that Anthem actually came out as a dumpster fire.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that too by what they did show, because it's like very early generated
concept art.
It's all concept art, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not a lot of great stuff there.
So yeah, long time before that comes out. Little Nightmares 2 really stuck out to me. That game looks amazing. I still haven't beaten the first one, which I think also just that whole like creepy atmosphere and everything to it looks great. So I really want to plow through the first one and play the second one. It looks creepy, scary, and everything, but like not in a horror sense. Like I don't like. Really cool. Star Wars Squadron, I guess, kind of had some new stuff shown, but it didn't really stand out to me. 12 Minutes, which is a indie game that was like shown off last year at E3 on the Xbox show. They revealed that they've got James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and Willem Dafoe lending their voices in the game, which is really cool, but they didn't really show anything new from a gameplay set. The Sims 4 is getting a Star Wars expansion. My daughter is going to fall in love with that.
Yeah, I texted my wife about that, and she texted back in all caps some words that I can only assume were excitement for this. So
Really cool.
It looks cool. I mean, the fact that you can get like a lightsaber and stuff, you're building cantinas and you got droids and stuff in it. It looks pretty cool. For a Sims expansion?
Is that basically Galaxy's Edge that they modeled in the game?
I think
It looks like it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah, my girlfriend's not a big Star Wars fan, so even though she loves The Sims, she probably won't be interested in this at all.
Yeah, I'm not much of a Star Wars guy, but my daughter loves The Sims and she likes Star Wars, so she'll definitely be a part of that. I don't know, is there anything else that really stood out to you guys? I mean, I guess we could mention Fall Guys Season 2 has new costumes and
Game modes.
Yeah, game modes coming. It looked like
Mafia Definitive Edition looked pretty cool. I never played those games, so
me either.
I think I'm gonna try it out.
Respawn revealed Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, which is their new VR game that they've been working on, and it looked good for a VR game.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look fine enough to justify not giving me more Titanfall. So
For outright canceling Titanfall 3.
Right, yeah. It's a little disappointing there.
What about the Destiny 2 stasis thing?
Even that was like just a sizzle reel, really. And I found out after the fact that, so Joel, you'll know, obviously there's 3 different characters, the sub classes for them are coming with stasis. They're not even going to reveal them all on the same day. They're revealing like the Warlock first, and then a week later they're doing the Titan, and then a week after that they're doing the Hunter. So they're doing like separate streams.
What exactly are they revealing? Are there like new subclasses?
Yeah, they're full new subclasses. Apparently they have a different upgrade path than the traditional subclasses in Destiny 2. So it sounds like they're doing something a little bit different there, which is cool, but this announcement was barely an announcement. It was just a, hey, look at the cool stuff you can do that we're not ready to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aside from that, I mean, rolling through this, there was also that really awkward moment with Doc Brown coming in.
Oh, yeah, that was
from Back to the Future.
Oh,
that was an absolute cringe
so
fest.
Weird. I was like, are they bringing back a Back to the Future game or something?
Mm-hmm.
No, he's talking about Surgeon Simulator 2. What?
Yeah, did you catch that moment, Joel?
No, I did not.
Go back. It's awful. Like they actually got what's his name, Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, they actually like got him to like dress up and act as Doc again, and he's like talking.
Yeah, and
he was like talking.
He was
about,
in character.
Yeah, he was talking about how we have to play Surgeon Simulator 2 to save the future. Or something, and it's like,
yeah, and then it has to release now, and like I respect the reach, but it was weird. It was not a fun moment.
Yeah. Of all the places to put your marketing money.
God, the next one, the Bridge Constructor
Walking
Dead crossover.
God.
That was a weird one too.
I was like, I'm just like watching. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like a Daisy 2 kind of thing. Oh, this is gonna suck. And then it showed Walking Dead Bridge Constructor. I'm like, oh, that's even worse.
Wait, that's literally, it's like a Walking Dead Bridge Constructor.
Remember?
Crossover?
Yeah, it's a crossover.
Yeah,
Oh
remember
God.
Portal Bridge Constructor? It's that, but Walking Dead. It's not good, man.
So you're just building bridges with zombies, my man.
That is so fucking.
They really scraped the bottom of the barrel for this opening night live. I really hope that the rest of Gamescom has something more substantial to provide.
I'm really hoping for some big Xbox announcements.
Yes, and this just wasn't much. I mean, it was basically just focusing on things that we've already seen, giving some kind of update to it. The Lego Star Wars collection, I mean, they actually showed some gameplay for that, which was cool.
But it's delayed.
But it's delayed to 2021. That 2K WWE 2K Battlegrounds looks horrendous.
But that looks so bad. That's gonna be
as everybody expected.
As bad as the last WWE 2K game was, this one is gonna I think it's gonna live up to those expectations.
Yeah, I think it'll be better than the last game, but I don't think it's gonna be like good at all.
No.
Yeah.
Because that last game was absolutely terrible. Like, I know this is like a new art style, probably like different engine and stuff, but man.
Yeah, and then really the only other thing that stuck out to me was that chorus gameplay.
Chorus.
That looked pretty sweet. No, it's pronounced chorus. I'll fight you on that. It's like churches. And
You mean
who's
churches?
shut up. Who's the developer for this one? Do you know? Offhand?
I can look it up quick. Keep talking.
I remember it being a pretty significant name, or at least one that was known in the industry, and it looks good. It's for a space dogfighting game, I'm more interested in it after seeing gameplay of it than I was before.
Fish Labs and Deep Silver.
Deep Silver, okay, right on. Yeah, and it's I know that one of the big things they touted that there's a significant single player component to the game. So if they can find a good way to wrap that in, I think it could be pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's nothing. It's tiny announcements, updates on stuff we knew, and they closed it out with Ratchet and Clank gameplay, which, like you said, was just 90% stuff that we'd already seen. Mm-hmm. So it really wasn't even worth mentioning. I'm almost disappointed that I even watched it, to be honest. Like, I can't believe I dedicated time to that.
Yeah, it was not great.
Yeah, not great indeed. Moving on. This is an article I thought was interesting. This comes from Tom Warren at The Verge. It says, Microsoft Flight Simulator players are flying into Hurricane Laura. Now, I saw some of this on Twitter last night. I thought this was really interesting because Flight Simulator, if you didn't know, it pulls like real-time data for weather and, everything related to that in terms of like sunlight, moonlight, all that stuff. So you can fly real-time through, parts of the world, like pretty much anywhere in the world, I think. And the weather will be, I'm sure it's not spot on, but it'll be pretty accurate. And I've just been watching videos and seeing clips of people flying through this storm or above the storm, and it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's
seeing some of this.
Crazy. First off, let's give a quick shout out to everyone dealing with that down in Texas and Louisiana. Hopefully you're safe. Hopefully you evacuated where you needed to and everything. I live in Iowa, and we just recently got hit by a hurricane storm, pretty much. So we're still feeling the ramifications for that. So hopefully all of you guys down there get through this.
It's kind of wild. I didn't realize that it pulled this level of real-time data in the game.
To an extent, some buildings it will like modify them for some reason.
Yeah. As far as like GPS data, but for weather and stuff, I didn't realize that that's something they were actively tracking. I just figured it was like maybe a procedural generation engine or something that handled the weather for it. But when I read about this, I was like, what do they mean? They're chasing it? Like they're just flying through where it would be?
They're like literally going
looking at these videos. Yeah, it's like straight up dudes flying into giant cloud storms and crazy wind, and honestly, I respect it. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it is really interesting. This game, like, my computer's pretty nice, and my CPU runs at 100% at all times playing this game. No matter what I do, it runs at 100%. Granted, my CPU's like 3 years old, but still, like, on no other game does it do that. Like, my GPU will be running at like 70%, but my CPU, for some reason, is at 100.
It demands it. I'm like scared to download it because of that.
I was looking at games yesterday on Xbox Game Pass on PC, and I was thinking about downloading it, but it's massive. It's 130 gigabytes on PC.
It's pretty huge. Like, I think that they have a lot of optimizing they need to do before it can come to Series X, just because like I think my PC is probably much better than the Series X is going to be. And it doesn't run that great. Like, I'll be lucky if I'm hitting 25 frames per second. Like, I have a friend who just built a PC like last month, 2 months ago, and he has a 2080 Super, like a i7 or I think he has an i7, like one of the newer ones, and like 32 gigs of RAM and everything, and he said he barely gets 30 frames a second. And like for my 25, I have to run the game on medium, which is rough. Like,
Yeah, so you're like really downgrading to have some sort of experience.
yeah,
Wow.
exactly. But I mean, the game's really cool. I just wish that it ran better, and I'd
The
probably
game is
play it more.
wildly ahead of its time, man.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But yeah, pretty cool that people are flying through storms. It definitely brings, like, I don't know, a new set of people that I guess would want to play these games. I don't know. Moving on. John, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So, there's been a lot of news recently coming out about Halo Infinite's development, and it's kind of been looking like the leadership at 343 has been a little rocky, handling it and everything. So this is from Chris Holt of Engadget.com. But a Bungie veteran will attempt to get Halo Infinite back on course. Between tepid reactions to the first gameplay trailer and the news Halo Infinite won't be a launch title for Xbox Series X this November, it's no secret things aren't entirely rosy with the game's development. To help shepherd the game along, a Halo veteran has joined the developer 343 Industries as the project lead for the Halo Infinite campaign. Joseph Staten was a writer and director of cinematics for Bungie's first 3 Halo games and held various creative positions on other titles in the series. He was also a writer and co-creative director for Destiny. He left Bungie in 2013 before the studio released that game. Staten returned to the Microsoft fold the following year as a senior creative director on the Xbox Game Studios team. Most recently, he helped through Don't Nods Tell Me Why, the first episode of which is out today. And then they put up his Twitter post saying, "I'm thrilled to join Halo to help them ship Halo Infinite. As the project lead for the Infinite campaign, I will be supporting the team's existing great leaders and empowering them to do their best work." So this is very interesting, considering just like a couple weeks ago, this game was supposed to come out this November, and now you've got a new lead focusing on the campaign.
So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is there were a lot of rumors like lately that the game might even be delayed until 2021, and I feel like this kind of supports those rumors a little bit. Like, I don't think it's going to come in 2021 or 2022. Sorry.
Okay, gotcha.
But I think
2021.
Yeah, but still, like, if Joseph gets there and he's like, "Yo, none of this is gonna work," and wants to change everything, like, that's a huge deal. And either the game launches like in a very, very bad state in terms of the campaign, or they delay it even further. So I don't know.
I think it's also interesting to note here too that Pierre Hintz, which is the head of the Halo Master Chief Collection publishing team, is taking over as the project lead for Halo Infinite's multiplayer side. So, like, they didn't just shake up the campaign; they've shaken up essentially this entire project.
What the fuck were we supposed to get in November? That's what I want to know.
No, that's a great question.
I think
honestly.
I think this has more to do with the public outcry. People saying that they don't like the direction that they were going. I
don't even know that it's a directional thing. I think that people were mad about the graphics, which graphics are whatever.
Or
also,
art
remember
style.
there was a 1080p stream that they had at the time, so like we didn't even get better assets and stuff until later, in terms of seeing what it's really capable of. But yeah, I mean, it's this feels like a high level shakeup of this, and this isn't the first time. I mean, we've already seen the creative director depart this. God, what was it, like 4 or 5 months ago?
Yeah,
they
it was a while ago.
Shifted. So yeah, it's a little while, and I'm totally with Joel on this one. Like, what the fuck were we getting in November?
Yeah,
if
definitely an eyebrow raiser.
This hadn't changed.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just brutal, man. I really hope that Halo doesn't suffer for this.
Same.
I have like no expectations for Halo now. Like, I'm convinced that this game's gonna come out and it's gonna suck. After like
how
this
far back
announcement,
do you think it gets pushed?
I don't know. Like, the thing is, like, when they delayed it, I was like, okay, maybe we'll get it like February, March. But now with like this announcement, and like you said, the guy who was head of Master Chief Collection multiplayer, like, who knows, man? I think they left it pretty open-ended, and I think it's for this reason. Like they just said it's delayed till next year, right?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sticking
They
with.
never gave a specific window.
I'm sticking with. I think it comes out in March or April.
I'm gonna throw a long one at the board here, and I'm gonna say we're looking at next holiday.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I was
they
gonna guess.
give it a full year pass, and see what they can do with it. And I think a lot of it for me, I wonder if a lot of the development here was rushed in order to try and make the launch of the Xbox Series X to give people a reason to pick up that console, because you think of their launch lineup and it's effectively non-existent.
Yeah.
Like Halo is it.
But I mean, also
It's
they've
also
had
been 5 years since Halo
Yeah.
5. I don't think
Right.
this was. I don't think this was rushed. I think this is poor management.
Well, definitely poor management, but I think it's a bit of a mixture of both. Like you just changed creative leaders not too long ago, so that was some kind of restarting in the process, and I felt like they were married to the date of the Xbox launch to give people a reason to buy their new hardware, of course. But it almost feels like now they just, Sony obviously doesn't have an incredible launch lineup either. So I don't feel it's as important as they think it was, and moving it back like this, I hope that they give it a serious pass and it's a good product rather than just trying to shoehorn good stuff into a shitty package.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, only time will tell what's gonna happen. I just really hope that they don't kind of do the cyberpunk method and like announce a date and then like 3 months later, like, you know what? Actually, we're gonna push that back even further.
Yeah, and keep pushing and pushing. I'm waiting for that delay to come any day, man. For Cyberpunk again, I think it's gonna happen. I'm convinced it's getting delayed again.
I don't think it's happening again just because they came out with that Rick Roll tweet. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Where like they
Yeah.
tweeted like it was the same template as they tweet like a delay of the game, but the text was all just the Rick Roll song.
No kidding.
Yeah, so I think that
Mhm.
they're pretty set on releasing that game.
That's a premium tweet right there. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
go look that up.
Yeah, so I don't think that game's getting delayed anymore. But Halo, who knows? I don't know. When do you guys think we hear anything else from Halo at all? Like in terms
EXO
of
2020, if they do it this year. I
I don't think.
don't
they
think
haven't
this
talked
is
on it,
going to
have
be
they?
long. No, they haven't. I really don't think there's going to be an EXO 2020, but whatever they fill in there, it'll probably be a inside Xbox stream thing. I think they'll give an update there. I don't think this is going to be a long delay.
Well, we'll see. With that, we're gonna end the show because we were gonna do 20 questions, but Connor's got somewhere to be.
Me?
Isn't that what? Did you type that or did John?
No, I
No,
did.
not me. That was John.
Oh,
I
I
needed
see
to
your
be off
cursor
20 minutes
there.
ago.
I see your cursor there.
John's got a hot date with a toupee shop or something. I don't know.
Wow. Well, as always, go follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street Pod. You can see our pinned tweet where you can find out how to join our Discord server. Send us pictures of your dogs. I'll send you pictures of mine. I'm Joel Campos. You can find me on Twitter at Campos63. John, where are you at?
On Twitter, I'm at Rivik Shadows, and also keep an eye out for our new YouTube channel. We're putting up our video version of the podcast there now, and also we're going to be working on some new content for it as well.
And Connor, what about you?
You can find me on Twitch and on Twitter at The Real Birch. It's Birch like the tree without the I, so BRCH. Come hang out. Would love to have you. Check out that Discord. Just come see us. Come do the thing. Subscribe. Whatever the kids call it nowadays.
Like, share,
TikTok
subscribe.
us.
Yeah, that's going to wrap up episode 109 of the Pixel Street Podcast. We will see you right back here next week for episode 110. Drink Game Fuel.
Bye. I love you.